what can go wrong will go wrong for the Dallas Cowboys. And this is another example of that with Ceedee going down with this ankle injury. And to have him go out right now it's just...
When the clip went viral on social media, no one was prepared. Ceedee Lamb lined up, the snap arrived, and then silence. His ankle bent in a way that made fans look away. Yet they couldn't stop watching again and again. In moments, a routine game highlight turned into the internet's worst nightmare. Let's dissect it. The moment that froze Cowboys Nation. The football community collectively held its breath on September 21st. 2025, as what should have been a normal Week 3 clash between the Dallas Cowboys and Chicago Bears at the legendary Soldier Field, turned into a disaster that left millions of fans worldwide shocked and horrified. The Cowboys entered this critical early season matchup already under mounting pressure after a rough start. 2 games, including a devastating Week 1 loss to division rivals, the Philadelphia Eagles, and a narrow escape with a win against the struggling New York Giants in Week 2. The weight of expectations for this historic franchise, coupled with the constant scrutiny that comes with wearing the star on their helmet, had already begun creating tension and uncertainty surrounding the team's 2025 season prospects. But nothing could have prepared Cowboys fans, players, coaches, or even neutral observers for what was about to happen in the opening quarter of what would become a catastrophic 31-14 loss that left the franchise reeling and seeking answers. The central figure in this developing drama was none other than Ceedee Lamb, the team's 4-time Pro Bowl wide receiver and newly crowned highest-paid player. Fresh off signing a massive 4-year, $136 million contract extension that finally ended his contentious holdout from the prior training camp, Lamb, who had cemented himself as one of the NFL's most explosive and reliable playmakers since being drafted 17th overall in the 2020 NFL Draft, was about to face a moment that would not only jeopardize his immediate playing future, but also highlight the brutal and unforgiving reality of professional football in the most visceral way imaginable. The play that changed everything started innocuously with the Cowboys facing a 1st and 10 from their own 25-yard line, seemingly setting up a standard offensive possession in the game's early stages. What made this specific play so shocking and, in hindsight, so devastating was the Cowboys coaching staff decision to line up their star wide receiver in a wildcat formation, essentially asking him to act as a running back instead of using his elite pass-catching skills that had made him one of the most feared weapons in the entire NFL. This unusual deployment would later face heavy criticism from fans and analysts alike, with many questioning the wisdom of exposing such a valuable asset to the increased physical punishment that comes with running the ball between the tackles.
Position of his ankle as he gets tackled here by this Bears defender. So remember, we're looking at Lamb's left ankle. As he comes down here, we're going to see that left foot get planted into the ground, and then this is that externally rotated position.
As Dak Prescott handed the ball to Lamb, the chain of events that follow would unfold with a kind of sickening inevitability that makes sports both beautiful and terrifying. Lamb, showing the versatility and competitive spirit that had defined his college career at Oklahoma, where he had worked with future NFL quarterbacks Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, and Jalen Hurts, Lamb took the handoff and immediately sprinted toward the left side of the field, aiming to find a gap in the Bears' defensive front. The collision that changed everything happened as Lamb planted his left foot to make a cutting motion upfield, a basic movement that receivers and running backs perform thousands of times throughout their careers without issue. However, on this play, Bears linebacker Noah Sue was closing on the exact same spot with the kind of violent force and precision that defines elite-level defensive play. In professional football, the impact, captured in agonizing detail by multiple camera angles and subsequently shared millions of times across social media, showed Lamb's ankle trap between Sue's tackle and the unyielding turf of Soldier Field. The physics of the hit created a perfect storm of destructive forces, with Lamb's planted foot becoming the focal point of an unnatural motion that forces ankle outward at an angle human joints are simply not designed to handle. The immediate aftermath of the collision was as heartbreaking as it was medically alarming. Lamb, who had earned a reputation throughout his career for toughness and durability, having missed only 3 games in his entire NFL career before this, collapsed to the ground in obvious physical distress that far surpassed the normal bumps and bruises of professional football. Watching this elite athlete, previously moving with the fluid grace and explosive power that made him famous, suddenly clutched his lower leg in agony sent an instant chill to the Cowboys sideline and everyone watching.
One thing that I think saved him here from a more severe injury is it didn't look like his ankle was quite as dorsiflexed or brought upward.
The viral impact of this footage cannot be overstated in terms of its immediate effect on the football community and beyond. The clips, first appearing on X, formerly Twitter, during the game and quickly amplified by major sports outlets, including ESPN, Newsbreak, and countless fan accounts, generated over 2 million impressions within the first 24 hours. The combination of high-definition camera angles, slow-motion replay, and the sheer visual effect of watching a human joint bend unnaturally created content that was both impossible to watch and impossible to ignore. The immediate reaction from Cowboys trainers and medical personnel highlighted the severity of the situation. Within moments, Lamb was surrounded by team medical staff who quickly removed his shoe and sock on the sideline for a preliminary check. The fact that he could walk off the field on his own offered some hope that the injury might not be as severe as the horrific visuals suggested. Yet the obvious discomfort and the cautious way he moved immediately raised red flags for anyone familiar with high ankle sprains and potentially devastating effect on an athlete's mobility and performance. As Lamb limped toward the sideline, favoring his injured left ankle, the cameras captured not only the physical pain on his face, but also his visible frustration and disappointment, a competitor who understood that his team desperately needed his contributions. The Cowboys' offense, which had already struggled to find consistency in the first 2 weeks of the season, would now be forced to operate without their primary weapon, and the player who led the NFL in receptions last season with an astonishing 135 catches.
It clearly shows what looks like an Achilles rupture for Ceedee Lamb.
The viral footage that would later shock fans worldwide captured every agonizing detail of the sequence, from the initial impact to Lamb's immediate reaction and his eventual exit from the field. The combination of multiple camera angles, high-definition replay technology, and the dramatic nature of watching a star athlete sustain a potentially serious injury in real time created content that went beyond normal sport highlights, becoming culturally significant and emotionally resonant. The aftermath and what it means for America's team. The ripple effects from Ceedee Lamb's shocking ankle injury extended far beyond Soldier Field, fundamentally altering the trajectory of the Dallas Cowboys' 2025 season, while generating one of the most viral sports injury videos in recent memory. As the dust settled from that, devastating Week 3 collision and medical analysis provided clarity on the injury severity. The focus shifted to understanding the broader implications of losing their star receiver during an already challenging campaign for America's team. The immediate impact on the Cowboys' offense was undeniable, as the team managed only 240 total yards without their primary weapon. The stark contrast between the explosive potential Lamb provided and the anemic production following his exit highlighted just how integral he had become to the team's identity and success. To fully grasp the magnitude of this loss, one must examine the remarkable journey that brought Ceedee Lamb to this pivotal point in his career. Born Ceedee and Dillian Lamb on April 8, 1999, in Appaloosa, Louisiana, his path to NFL stardom began in the aftermath of tragedy when Hurricane Katrina devastated his hometown in 2005. His family relocated to Houston, Texas, where he eventually attended John and Randolph Foster High School. As a senior at Foster, Lamb's statistical dominance was extraordinary, recording 98 catches for 2,320 yards and 33 receiving touchdowns, numbers that ranked him among the top prospects in the state. His college career at Oklahoma was equally spectacular, as he had the rare opportunity to work with 3 future NFL starting quarterbacks during his tenure with the Sooners. Baker Mayfield, fresh off his Heisman Trophy victory, was Lamb's first college quarterback, followed by Kyler Murray and eventually Jalen Hurts. This unprecedented experience developing chemistry with multiple elite quarterbacks provided Lamb invaluable preparation for his professional career.
Yeah, it seems surreal sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So my first year coming having Baker, he's fresh off a Heisman, and then for him to go back to back, that was fire. And then knowing I had Kyler in the chamber, that was elite. And then you got Jay Hurts, he came in, he was a Heisman finalist as well. So I had 3 of them, 2 winners, 1 finalist.
His college statistics tell the story of consistent growth and dominant production, culminating in his junior season where he recorded 1,327 yards on just 62 receptions, an average of 21.4 yards per catch, setting an Oklahoma school record for players with 50 or more receptions. These numbers were not just impressive statistically, they demonstrated the explosive playmaking ability and big play potential that made him such an appealing NFL prospect. The goals and ambitions driving Lamb throughout his career were perhaps best expressed during his recent appearance on Kevin Hart's Cold As Balls Show, where he outlined his ambitious vision for the 2025 season and beyond. These were not merely boastful claims of an overconfident athlete. They reflected the mindset of a player who had consistently backed his words with exceptional performance throughout his career. The pursuit of 2,000 receiving yards in a single season would place him among the most elite receivers in NFL history. Offensive Player of the Year and Super Bowl MVP honors would cement his status as one of the game's truly transcendent talents. The leadership role that Lamb has embraced within the Cowboys organization was evident during the same interview, as he discussed his approach to handling the immense pressure and expectations that come with playing for America's team.
Has the media had any effect on you? The expectations are so high and what they want to see from you guys,
Right.
and not getting to the next stages or next levels. Has it had an impact on you at all?
Positive impact.
However, Lamb's career has not been without controversies and challenges, particularly regarding his financial negotiations with the Cowboys. The 2024 contract holdout that preceded his eventual four-year, $136 million extension was a contentious period that cost him over $1.5 million in fines and created tension between player and the organization. The holdout, lasting throughout training camp and preseason, saw Lamb accruing daily fines of $40,000 while missing critical preparation with teammates. The financial stakes were enormous, with projections suggesting that Lamb could have faced more than $1.5 million in total fines had he missed the team's first preseason game. The resolution of the contract ultimately made him the second highest paid receiver in the NFL, but the prolonged negotiations highlighted the sometimes difficult relationship between star players and team management in the modern league. Beyond contract disputes, Lamb has faced scrutiny from the NFL regarding his on-field celebrations and conduct. He has been fined over $50,000 throughout his career for various infractions, including recent penalties for what the league deemed violent touchdown celebrations. Most recently, he and Steelers receiver George Pickens were fined $14,491 each for a choreographed celebration involving fake punches, which the NFL considered inappropriate. The league has also tried to limit Lamb's signature nose wipe celebration, citing potential associations with violence or gang activity. Performance-related controversies have also followed Lamb, particularly in critical moments when his production fell short of expectations. Cowboys fans and analysts heavily criticized his performance in the season-opening loss to the Philadelphia Eagles, where multiple dropped passes, including potential touchdowns, contributed to the defeat. These struggles led to intense scrutiny from a passionate Cowboys fan base, who expect elite performance from their highest-paid players. Following a particularly poor game against the Baltimore Ravens in 2024, Lamb publicly apologized, stating, "I failed myself and obviously I failed the team." This level of accountability and public self-reflection demonstrated his maturity and understanding of his responsibilities as a team leader, even in adversity. The dynamics within the Cowboys locker room have also offered insight into Lamb's character and leadership style. His relationship with quarterback Dak Prescott has been particularly strong, with both players working directly to resolve any on-field chemistry issues rather than letting problems fester. This mature approach to conflict resolution has been key in maintaining their partnership's effectiveness despite the pressures surrounding both players. The departure of former teammate Micah Parsons to the Philadelphia Eagles via trade created another dynamic, as reports suggested Parsons had irritated teammates, including Lamb, with his egotistical podcast persona and locker room behavior. Despite these reported tensions, Lamb maintained a diplomatic public stance regarding his former teammate, referring to Parsons as "my dog," while acknowledging the personal edge that would exist when facing him as an opponent. Looking ahead, Lamb has already begun planning for life after football, showing the forward-thinking mindset that defines athletes who successfully transition into post-playing careers.
Are you thinking about life after football at this stage in your career? And if so, what are the things of interest for Ceedee Lamb that he would be thinking about doing?
Yeah, but I'm not too focused on it, but I'm obviously having a brain outside of it, right? So like for me, I like to be creative. I like to create clothes. I love interior designing houses.
These entrepreneurial pursuits reflect a well-rounded individual who understands the importance of developing skills and passions beyond his athletic career. Combining creative interests such as fashion design and interior decorating with his established professional football success paints a picture of someone who approaches life with the same strategic mindset that has made him effective on the field. The medical analysis that terrified Cowboys Nation. As the shocking footage of Ceedee Lamb's ankle injury continued to circulate wildly across social media, generating millions of views and countless reactions from horrified fans, the football world urgently sought answers regarding the severity of the injury. The gruesome slow-motion replays left many fearing the worst, with the unnatural angle of Lamb's ankle during collision raising immediate concerns about potential season-ending damage that could derail both his individual campaign and the Cowboys' hopes for a successful 2025 season. Within hours, multiple sports medicine professionals and injury analysts began offering expert interpretations of the footage, using their medical training and prior experience with similar injuries to provide insight into the devastating collision. Dr. Deepak Chona from Sports Medal was among the first to provide a detailed breakdown, suggesting that the injury appeared to be a mile-high ankle sprain based on the mechanism of injury and Lamb's immediate response. His analysis, which would eventually gather over 1.8 million views on social media, provided both technical medical insight and cautious optimism, helping to calm some initial panic among Cowboys fans.
I would not be surprised at all if we see him miss about a month, if not longer, and go on the IR.
The emerging medical consensus from various experts painted concerning, but not necessarily catastrophic picture. Dr. David Chow, widely known as at Pro Football Doc on social media, analyzed the footage and concluded that Lamb had suffered a left ankle eversion sprain that would likely not require an IR designation. His assessment focused on the specific mechanism of injury, noting that while the visuals were disturbing, Lamb's ability to bear weight immediately after the collision suggested the damage might not be as severe as initially feared. The technical details of the collision became clearer as more medical professionals shared their analyses. Dr. Evan Jeff, a doctor of physical therapy, provided a detailed breakdown of the injury mechanism, explaining that the inward force applied to Lamb's planted foot created the conditions for a high ankle sprain, while also noting the importance of ruling out any potential fracture. His analysis emphasized that high ankle sprains, while often less immediately painful than traditional ankle sprains, can be more problematic for athletes because of their impact on ankle stability and the longer recovery periods typically required. What made this medical analysis especially compelling and terrifying for Cowboys fans was a detailed explanation of the exact forces applied to Lamb's ankle during the collision. Dr. Brian Sutter, in his comprehensive video breakdown, explained how the dorsiflexion position of Lamb's ankle at the moment of impact created maximum tension on his Achilles tendon and the entire triceps surae complex. His analysis, comparing Lamb's injury to other high-profile ankle injuries in professional sports, offered viewers a deeper understanding of the biomechanics involved and the potential long-term consequences.
What we're dealing with for Lamb is the mechanism that would concern us for a high ankle sprain. We're going to look straight on here first to see the position of his ankle as he gets tackled here by this Bears defender.
The timing estimates provided by various medical experts produce a range of scenarios, leaving Cowboys fans cautiously optimistic, but still deeply concerned about the immediate effects on their team's offensive capabilities. Dr. Chona suggested Lamb would likely miss about 2 weeks, potentially returning for the team's Week 5 matchup against the Green Bay Packers. However, other experts offer a more conservative outlook, noting that high ankle sprains in professional athletes often require 4 to 6 weeks of recovery, particularly when cutting ability and explosive movements are critical to effectiveness on the field. The complexity of high ankle sprains became a central theme in the medical analysis following the viral footage. Unlike traditional ankle sprains that affect the ligaments on the outside of the ankle, high ankle sprains damage the syndesmotic ligaments connecting the tibia and fibula above the ankle. These injuries are particularly concerning for skill position players like wide receivers because they directly affect the ability to make sharp cuts and explosive directional changes essential to their position. What made the situation even more worrisome for Cowboys fans was that high ankle sprains, often present deceptively mild initially. Many athletes with these injuries can walk and even attempt to continue playing immediately, only to later discover the damage is more severe than it appeared. This phenomenon explained why Lamb was able to briefly return the game for one play before being ruled out for the remainder of the contest. The viral footage provided medical experts an unusually clear view of the injury mechanism, allowing for more precise analysis than is typically possible with sports injuries. Slow-motion replays captured the exact moment Lamb's ankle was forced into eversion, with his foot rolling inward as Bears linebacker Noah Sue's weight came down on the joint. This clear visualization enabled experts to identify the specific ligaments likely affected and to provide a more accurate timeline, estimates for recovery, comparisons to similar injuries suffered by other high-profile NFL players added valuable context to the medical analysis. Experts noted parallels to injuries previously sustained by players like Dak Prescott, while also highlighting differences that could influence the recovery timeline and long-term prognosis. These comparisons gave Cowboys fans realistic expectations, while demonstrating that athletes have successfully returned from similar injuries to maintain elite performance. For Ceedee Lamb, the game was so precious, he wanted to give his full effort.
Give me your predictions attached to the Dallas Cowboys. You got pieces to the puzzle. Do you see yourselves getting to the big game, big dance, deep in the postseason?
Modern medical imaging played a crucial role in providing a definitive diagnosis as fans awaited official word from the Cowboys organization. NFL Network's Ian Rappaport reported on Monday that imaging confirmed the initial diagnosis of a mild high ankle sprain, offering some relief to fans who fear more severe damage. The psychological impact of recovering from such a visually dramatic injury also became part of the discussion. Sports psychologists and injury specialists noted that even when physical damage is minor, repeatedly witnessing a traumatic injury can affect an athlete's confidence and willingness to put themselves in similar situations. The broader implications for the Cowboys' offensive strategy during Lamb's absence became clear as medical experts outlined typical recovery timelines for high ankle sprains, projecting 2 to 6 weeks depending on severity and individual healing response. The Cowboys would need to find ways to maintain offensive efficiency without their primary weapon. This challenge was especially daunting given the team's early season struggles and their reliance on Lamb's production to move the ball effectively. The medical analysis following the viral footage ultimately provided a comprehensive understanding of the collision at Soldier Field. While the initial visual suggested the possibility of career-threatening damage, expert consensus indicated an injury that, though significant and impactful in the short term, was unlikely to have lasting effects on Lamb's career trajectory or long-term health. Well, that's it for this video, but don't go anywhere because we've got plenty more heat for you. Just tap any of the cards on your screen right now and stay locked.